In the Middle East, a dangerous rivalry between Israel and Iran now threatens to erupt into a regional war with global consequences. This conflict isn't limited to battlefields. It's fought through proxy armies, covert operations, cyber warfare, and recently direct military strikes. A single miscalculation could destabilize the world, disrupt energy supplies, and draw in powers like the US and Russia. Israel, a small but technologically advanced democracy, sees its survival as its core security concern. Iran, a populous theocracy, leads the Shia Muslim world and challenges the American-led order. Their animosity is rooted in opposing ideologies and ambitions. Israel views Iran as an existential threat, while Iran sees Israel as an illegitimate outpost of Western power. For Israel, an Iranian nuclear weapon is a red line. For Iran, opposing Israel is a revolutionary duty. What began as a shadow war of assassinations and sabotage has now broken into the open. The direct missile and drone attacks of 2024 and 2025 marked a terrifying new chapter, bringing the region closer to all-out war than ever before. The world watched as two of the Middle East's most formidable militaries finally engaged each other directly, forever changing their deadly rivalry. Before 1979, Israel and Iran were unlikely partners, united by shared strategic interests against Arab nationalism and Soviet influence. Israel provided Iran with expertise, Iran supplied Israel with oil. Their cooperation extended to business, culture, and intelligence. This pragmatic alliance ended abruptly with the Islamic Revolution. Ayatollah Khomeini's new regime was fiercely anti-Western and anti-Israel, severing all ties and recasting Israel as an illegitimate occupier. The Israeli embassy in Tehran was handed to the PLO, symbolizing the new ideological divide. Iran's foreign policy became defined by opposition to Israel in the West, aiming to export its revolution. Israel, once a partner, became the ultimate adversary. This reversal marked the start of a decades-long Cold War, fueled by religious fervor and mutual distrust. The legacy of 1979 still shapes the Middle East today. After 1979, Iran built the Axis of Resistance, a network of proxies to challenge Israel indirectly. Iran arms, funds, and trains groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, which now possesses a vast arsenal aimed at Israel. Hezbollah serves as Iran's primary deterrent, capable of inflicting massive damage in any conflict. Iran also supports Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, keeping Israel engaged on multiple fronts. The goal: encircle Israel with hostile forces and drain its resources. Iran's reach extends to Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, using proxy militias to threaten both Israel and U.S. interests. In Syria, Iranian-backed forces prop up Assad and create new fronts against Israel. The Houthi movement in Yemen, armed by Iran, has even struck targets as far as Israel, expanding the conflict's scope. Israel counters Iran's proxies with a relentless covert campaign: airstrikes, assassinations, cyber attacks, and sabotage. The Israeli Air Force has struck hundreds of Iranian targets in Syria, aiming to prevent a permanent Iranian military presence and block arms transfers to Hezbollah. Israel has targeted key Iranian military and nuclear figures, including the 2020 assassination of Mohsen Fakhrizadeh. These operations disrupt Iran's most sensitive projects and demonstrate the reach of Israeli intelligence. Cyber warfare is a critical front. Most famously, the Stuxnet virus crippled Iran's nuclear centrifuges in 2010. Both sides now regularly launch cyber attacks, targeting infrastructure and government systems. This digital battlefield adds a new, unpredictable dimension to their conflict. Israel's shadow war aims to keep Iran off balance and prevent a direct confrontation. At the heart of the conflict is Iran's nuclear program, a red line for Israel. Israel sees a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat, and has acted aggressively to prevent it. The 2015 Iran nuclear deal imposed restrictions and inspections, but the US withdrawal in 2018 led Iran to resume enrichment. Iran is now closer than ever to nuclear weapons capability, with its breakout time measured in weeks. This has left Israel facing a stark choice: accept a nuclear Iran or consider a risky military strike. A strike could ignite a massive regional war, but Israeli leaders see the alternative as even more dangerous. The world watches as diplomacy falters and the risk of conflict grows. The nuclear standoff keeps the region on a knife's edge. The stakes could not be higher. In 2024, the shadow war erupted into direct confrontation. After a suspected Israeli strike on its consulate, Iran launched its first-ever direct attack on Israeli territory. Over 300 drones and missiles, mostly intercepted. This shattered old taboos and set a new, dangerous precedent. Israel responded with Operation Northern Arrows, targeting Hezbollah and decapitating its leadership, including Hassan Nasrallah. Lebanon teetered on the brink of war as Iran retaliated with even larger missile barrages. Israel struck back inside Iran, hitting targets near Tehran in 2025. Both sides abandoned ambiguity, risking catastrophic miscalculation. The human cost soared, over 150,000 displaced along the Israel-Lebanon border, daily life upended by rocket and drone attacks. The conflict's new phase is defined by direct military exchanges and brutal border warfare. The shadow war has stepped fully into the light with devastating consequences. The Israel-Iran rivalry is now one of the world's most dangerous conflicts, threatening to engulf the Middle East. The risk of full-scale war is real, with global energy supplies and economies at stake. A major conflict could disrupt oil flows and draw in the US, Russia, and China, escalating into a great power confrontation. The nuclear standoff remains the most volatile element, with no easy diplomatic solution in sight. The failure of past agreements has brought the world closer to a moment of truth. Both nations are convinced of the justice of their cause, fueling a cycle of violence and fear. Finding a path to peace will require immense political courage and a recognition that the current trajectory leads only to mutual destruction. The world cannot afford the catastrophe of an unchecked Israel-Iran war.